Welcome to Satsang. Welcome to those online. The main announcement really is to let you know that the Thursday Satsang in the evening is the venue is changed. It's going to be at Helen's. If you need the address, please look on the website, helenhamilton.org. Just a bit of housekeeping. We'll have drinks after Satsang. Ask for an 80p donation towards them. Toilet's just at the top of the stairs. Satsang will be the same as the Thursday evening. Helen will give a talk and then she'll open it for questions. If you do have questions online, please know that you can email them in before the event. And if a question comes up tonight that you want to email in to evolutionofspirit@gmail.com, it'll be asked at the next Satsang. Please wait to be invited to ask a question, and just stay in the room throughout the Satsang, please, so it doesn't disrupt. The events that we've got booked now are, we have the intensive booked for May the 17th, 11 till 4. It's an extended one now. We've added an extra hour. We always run out of time. Everyone wants to do more, so we've extended it. And that, again, is at a new venue. All details are on the website. Please email if you have any questions about it. And that includes meditations, satsang, and darshan as well, for those that are able to attend in person. We've also got the Dissolving the Ego course, which is extremely popular. It has been fully booked each time. We have limited spaces. It's in the 4 Tuesdays in April, which begin on the 7th. Again, a new venue. We've booked a hall, so we need people to book and reserve their places to guarantee them a spot. I would highly, highly recommend it. It's basically about Helen's own awakening, and it's a very interesting course. It helps you remove blocks and to move beyond the mind, and there's lots of us that have done it. And when I was saying this in Satsang last night, everyone was sat there. It was like a row of nodding dogs. Everyone was nodding. If you want to live in peace, love and joy and the end of suffering, just do it. It is amazing. The Sangha support group, which is online, is open to everyone. You don't have to be a distance away. Anyone who lives locally can join it. But for those who can only attend online, who do live abroad or further away, can't attend in person, it's March the 15th at 12:30. And it's interactive, as the course and the intensive are. You don't have to sit and listen. You are able to speak. It's video conferencing. Gaynor, who runs it, is lovely, and it just means that you don't have to be isolated. If you're feeling isolated wherever you are, it's a chance to just chat with people about how your journey is going. And Gaynor will read part of one of Helen's books, and it's really good. Helen also offers one-to-one sessions. You can book that online or email about it, and they are very, very popular as well, and she's getting a lot of bookings of them, and the feedback we get is amazing. Helen's books are all available on Amazon, or if you attend in person, they're always available at every event. Well, have a good satsang.
Namaste.
Namaste.
And welcome to Satsang. Welcome to those online as well. So today I want to discuss the same thing I always talk about, but hopefully from a different angle, so again, as always, so that it might be easier to digest, easier to take in. And it really is following on from last night, following on from the most powerful satsang we had last night. So in our awakening, our task, our role is to come to see what we are, to be what we are consciously. So for each of us, we'll have some level of seeing, and we should always be looking to see more. We should never come to the end of that seeing. And it really ties in with what we were saying last night. To not know means also to not know that I've seen the truth. Even when everyone around you is telling you that you've obviously recognized something and know something very clearly, are we going to agree with that inside? The moment we close around this idea that I know what's true, we will begin to suffer again. We'll begin to feel constricted. So on the one hand, we are seeing the truth about ourselves ever deeper. And on the other hand, we'll be being asked to be that consciously in our life. We'll be asked to live from that place. We'll be given opportunities by life, challenges, where we have a choice to go this way, to our old way of thinking about ourselves as a someone, as a something, or this way to honor what we've seen and live from that. And if you can really grasp this, it makes the whole thing a lot easier, because a lot of people ask me questions, how do I live from what I've seen? You know, and it's a very simple thing that I want to explain today. A real simple thing when it's grasped. It may not seem simple at first. So whatever we have seen to be true about ourselves, we have to come to honor that. That's the height of devotion. To never ever form an idea of what truth means to me, and to always be willing to live from what I've seen, my most recent knowing, what I know with a conviction inside. So if we ask this question, what really am I? Or where am I? Then we'll begin to experience that we are this formless reality. And if you haven't seen that yet, it's okay. It's literally to say, well, anything that I am aware of, I cannot be. Anything that I can perceive or observe, I can't be in truth. Because I can see it, it must be separate to me and not me. So if this is really grasped inside, anything that I'm aware of cannot be what I am. So I'm aware of my body. I'm aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of my emotions. I'm aware of my experiences. I'm aware of my relationships, my career, my world. I'm aware of the world. All of this is happening in front of me, and I'm aware of it. And the word of signifies there's two things there. There's two things. The awareness and what I'm aware of. As you begin to discern and clearly come to see, anything that I'm aware of has to be outside of me, separate to me, not really ultimately what I am. Later on in our seeing, we'll come to include all this back in, but for the simple discernment, whenever we let go of whatever we're aware of as our self-definition, all that remains is the awareness. Even the sense, my awareness, we can see that, we can perceive that. It feels like there's someone here that's aware. My awareness, different to your awareness, separate to, feels like for someone. So even this must be discarded. This sense of someone that I'm aware of must be discarded ultimately in our discernment to reach the one. I'm aware of my ego. I'm aware of my mind. I'm aware of my separate sense of self. I'm aware that I feel separate. It must be eventually discarded because it still comes under this category of aware of and not just aware. And this is when you really take this inside, it really leaves nothing else that remains except you, also known as pure awareness. Not you plus all this other stuff that's happening in front of you. The first thing that happens in front of us is our body. And then with that body comes a sense of I as someone that's moving around in time and space. And when we investigate this awareness, once you've seen that this is what I am in my truest essence, my most eternal, most true form, then we can begin to know, to see clearer. It's not enough to see I am that awareness. We must really come to know what that means. If I am the awareness, am I changing? Am I growing? Am I becoming? Am I something that was created? Was awareness created? Can it be destroyed? Can it be harmed? Can it be changed? Is awareness trying to wake up? Is awareness trying to find awareness? Is awareness trying to remain as the awareness, even this one? So on one hand, we're having this ever clearer seeing, and this seeing will keep presenting itself to you ever clearer. This is what I am. This is what I've always been. And then an understanding of what that means begins to blossom inside. There isn't an edge to my awareness. There isn't a boundary beyond which I don't exist as this awareness. Each human body, I'm having this experience of I and its unique expression. And then as this seeing begins to sit deeper in our hearts and we're unconsciously or consciously choosing this more and more, we're going to be presented with an opportunity to be this. What does that mean? It means that if I've just had a seeing that I'm not a shape, I'm not a form, I'm not limited by time and space, I've really come to understand what that means to be the awareness. And then suddenly I seem to have this problem of not having enough time, or not having enough space, or not having enough whatever it is. The moment we see, we'll be asked to be. This problem that we're presented with is always going to include two. Me and awareness and. So if you begin to discern these problems when they come up, and they have to come up so that we can look at them and say they're not true anymore, to come to see they're not true. if you can come to recognize that any problem that is presented to you after you've had this seeing is a problem for your old sense of self, what you thought you were. It's a problem for the someone, for the separate being, the someone that is somewhere. Then you're breaking free. And your greatest power of devotion is discernment in action. Is this still my problem now from what I've seen about myself? Is this still real for me now, given what I've seen to be true? So we have this seeing, I am just the awareness, I am intangible, I'm formless, I'm everywhere, nowhere in particular, not changing, not growing, older. I wasn't born with the awareness, I'm not going to die. I can't be harmed. And then the very next thing that happens is somebody insults us or has a go at us. We must immediately hold this problem up against what we've seen to be true. Is this true for me now? This is the height of discernment, isn't it? Even though it's going on in my experience right now, even though it's happening right now in my world, in my life, is it true for me? Just because I'm experiencing it still, is it true? To not automatically accept it. If I can come to see that none of these problems that I thought I had as a someone apply to me as the awareness, then they will stop happening, they will disappear. So you see, and then you be. You choose to live from that. In that moment, this is not true for me anymore. It's not wrong. It's just irrelevant now, this problem, from what I've seen about myself. It's no longer applicable to me as the awareness itself. And everything that we are experiencing as a seeker, as someone trying to find truth, has to come under this scrutiny of your discernment now. What does it mean then if you are unchanging, ever-present awareness? Can you still be trying to find truth? Can you need to see it deeper? Is that happening to the awareness? Is the awareness experiencing this, I've got it, I've lost it, in and out? Is the awareness becoming more established as the awareness? Is the awareness trying to be more aware? Is the awareness forgetting what it's just seen and trying to get it back again? So when you begin to be offered these opportunities, those opportunities, these problems, these challenges that were almost impossible as a someone to solve. If you've ever tried to stay as the awareness for any length of time, you'll see it's not possible. If you've ever tried to establish yourself so deeply as the awareness that you can never forget it again, you'll find it's not possible. And just because it seems to keep happening in my experience, am I going to agree? Or am I creating that experience because I'm still agreeing? So this period that comes after seeing, or whilst our seeing is deepening, where all of these tendencies are thrown at us, all of these patterns that we've got running still, can be very easily held under this light and discarded. Can I be unworthy now if I'm really that awareness? Can there be more to see if I am the seeing itself? Can I be almost there but not quite if I am the awareness? Can I be confused? Can I lose my clarity? Can I fall asleep again as the awareness once I've seen? All of these are problems for someone, aren't they? Someone. For someone that we thought we were. Can I even realize the self? Can I realize that I am the pure awareness as the awareness? Is it trying to find itself even? And it is as simple as that. Asking that question, is this still true now? Am I being treated with a lack of respect? Am I not good enough? Am I whatever I think I am now from what I've seen to be true? Because if I don't question these problems when they're offered, these opportunities, I'm agreeing with them, I'm going to continue to experience them. And most of them are going to be spiritual problems now. How do I stay as what I have seen to be true? How do I always know that? How do I stop it from being clouded over again and going back into ego? Is that true for you now? Is even this problem yours as the awareness? Are you equally aware of awareness or aware of ego? You're still the awareness. So what I'm giving you is the sword of discernment. I'm not giving it to you, it's always been inside, but it's the height of your devotion if you allow it to come. I'm not going to let one single opportunity go past me without going under this sword, you know. And there is not a single problem that will survive this sword. How am I going to function now that I've seen this? I don't seem to want to move and motivate myself like I did before. Is that true for the awareness? Is it moving? Is it changing? Is it working? Or is all of this your body that we've just kind of caught up with our own self-definition? Even the really nice problems as the awareness. How am I going to cope with all this peace, love, and joy? How am I going to hold myself together when I'm bursting open with love? Is that true for the awareness? Even these problems that everyone loves to have, will you discard these ones too? Go on then, not too much bliss. Well, I really want to be someone feeling too much bliss. So you must see and never, ever get to the end of that seeing. Can the awareness get to an end point of seeing? And it's just not possible, is it? Always aware, always open to see more. You can't close off. Can awareness close its eyes or its mind? No. When it thinks it's a human being, it really can. Ever deepening seeing, ever greater love, ever more clarity, ever more understanding happening organically, just arising spontaneously from what we've seen inside. Can I even get there? Can I arrive at some place of clear seeing as the awareness? Or is that an imaginary finish line that we've drawn with a chalk line on the pavement? Does the awareness hold any idea about finally getting home, reaching the great self, the awareness? All of this is delusion in thought, all of this. And most of us don't bring these type of problems under this light this sort of discernment. Most of us don't go the whole distance in that. We've seen it, but then in this area, we're not being it. Mind says, you've forgotten it, you've lost it, it's gone, can't get it back. Is that true for me? As what I saw I was 5 minutes ago, is it having this problem? My very answer is going to determine my experience in the next moment, isn't it? If I'm not sure that it's my problem, I'm going to really find out if it actually is. I'll be free. If I'm sure I am having this problem and I can't get back to the awareness, or stay as that, then I'm going to have to keep trying to get back. And if you've done that for any length of time, it gets rather old, you know. So it's this beautifully simple, again, this question, is that true for me now? It was before when I was a someone trying to reach the awareness. Boy, was it true. It really, really was true. Like really had to, 15 years of trying to get somewhere or whatever it is. How about now? How long does it take the awareness to be the awareness? Or to stabilize as the awareness? It's funny afterwards, it's really not at the time, but this clear question will destroy every problem that you could ever have, or have had, or thought you had, I should say. Have I ever not been this? Have I suddenly just become this? Well, when did the awareness start? Or is it just that this body appeared in my awareness and I got fascinated with it and its thoughts and its seeming life and its someoneness that seems to be there for a while? What possible problem can survive this discernment? And even problems that you may have in the future that may be suggested to you. Too much peace, too much joy, and I just don't know what to do with myself. Is that true for me? I can't remember which is my car, and I need to find it. Well, is that true for the awareness? I can't remember what I was going to say. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. Is that true? This may seem like this can't really be a problem, and I'd love to have these problems, but when you get to this point, there will seem to be a problem, believe me. Chop them now. Much easier. Noticing that our egoic sense of self is going to want to keep creating problems. Ever finer, ever more wonderful problems about being the awareness in the end. Well, it's fine being the awareness, but how are you going to talk to your grandma at Sunday lunchtime? I am the great awareness, and so are you. Is this true for the awareness? Is it going to have to decide how to speak to grandma at Sunday lunch? No. Is it going to have to pretend to be a human being or discern which level? Should I talk to this person as a self or as the ego? Is that true? While we're chopping these problems, let's just get them all out. Awareness just is, in that clear seeing and being of it. Spontaneously, appropriately, everything that needs to arise will arise. If that's to talk as a someone to grandma on Sunday, you'll do that. Fine. Grandma may also understand this, by the way. So there's nothing complicated about this at all. All these difficult vasanas, karmic tendencies, mind patterns that continue after, everything that comes up after you've had a seeing and during your seeing. You can chop it with this one question. If you're just not willing to automatically agree that I've lost my peace, or I've lost the awareness, or it's covered over now. It was clear last night, I was buzzing, and then by the time I got home, you know, how far can the awareness go before it's not the awareness? What can cloud over and confuse the awareness? Can the awareness go through 27 stages to self-realisation? I better stop there or else I'll really start laughing. So I hope you're coming to see how simple it is to navigate through this stage, how easy it can be. If I'm not someone, and really what I am is formless, intangible, we've been calling it awareness today, but you can call it whatever you like, also known as you. What problems does it have? On the one hand, ever deepening, seeing, is it suffering? Can it suffer? The awareness. Does it feel emotions? Can it be in pain? Does it get tired? Can it be confused? And on the other hand, looking at what we're offered, this menu, this buffet of all you can eat problems from the ego, and deciding I'm going to examine them rather than just order them off the menu, you know. But I know what they taste like, and they're a little bitter now. Can it be that easy to live as what you've seen? Yes. If you're determined to put everything under the sword, it will all get chopped each time it comes up, and it will be such a labour of love. Wow, I used to really believe this was wrong, this is my issue. Really. You know, the great spiritual search itself, even. Will all be gone in this clear seeing. Am I really that? Is that really my issue? Is it really true now, given what I've seen? I don't care whatever find a spiritual problem that, you know, comes up, it will not survive this sword, ever. I have to get rid of these karmic patterns before I can feel joy. Or I have to find a place of worthiness. I have to become firmly established in that awareness, as that awareness. I have to get rid of my ego. Not true for you now. Not at all. Not ever, actually. Are you willing to live from that simple place where there aren't any problems? And I know you all are, because you're here. Otherwise, you'd be somewhere else. But in that moment, am I going to choose what I've seen to be true? Or am I going to choose what I think to be true? One road goes this way, eternal peace, love, and joy. One road goes this way, frustration, confusion, suffering. Discrimination and discernment and devotion to truth become the same thing here. So if anyone has a problem they'd like to put under the sword, or anything they'd like to share, you're welcome to ask a question. Just kind of killed everyone's problems now, right? And questions. Just pull that back a bit. A bit lower than expected.
I loved what you said, and as usual, had a huge impact. You said one thing that made me go, oh, and then you almost said it a different way that made me go, ah. So just I kind of want to kind of ask if you can clarify it. I think I get it. You said something when you were saying, is the awareness, does the awareness have any problems? Does the awareness, this, you know, and you said, does the awareness need to see it more deeply?
Yeah.
And that was the one where I went, oh. And then a bit later you said something about it being an ever deepening seeing. Oh, can't remember the exact words. So
It's one of those horrible moments where the teacher contradicts himself completely.
yeah, but I felt in a way that it wasn't a contradiction, because I felt that, am I right? My question is, am I right that it is, as a person wanting to see it more deeply, it's very different to an ever deepening experience of the awareness?
Yes.
Not as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much. From a personal perspective, I will be trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Trying to remain as that, trying to, or all of that, you know.
Yeah.
There's the awareness. I'll be recognizing the awareness. Each time it will be new and fresh, but I'll be seeing completely the same thing. But because I am infinite awareness, there's an infinite number of ways I can show myself the same thing.
Yeah.
And each time it will be ever clearer, ever deeper, ever more. But from an already so place, not trying to get there, not having, I have had a deeper seeing, that you're just left with this feeling, this is how it's always been.
Yeah.
More and more.
Yeah. I just wanted the clarity on it, really, because I know to be able to express to be able to express the deeper seeing. You use the words, oh, I've had a deeper seeing, or I've recognised it more, and but that's just words, isn't it?
The very first time you asked the question, what am I, and didn't find a someone, you found this pure awareness.
Yeah.
And it's still the same thing that you're finding when the awareness recognizes itself even now.
Yeah.
And let's fast forward 1,000 years, a human being sitting in a satsang somewhere would still see the exact same thing as you've seen and continue to see. But in each mind and body, it becomes more and more a conviction it's always been this way.
Yeah, definitely.
So in a way, it does seem to be changing, but it's not actually. Yeah. It's just becoming more obvious, more normal, more always being, you know, about it. More, but not really. There is the challenge in trying to communicate that through words.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. Yeah,
it feels different. It'll be a revelation, just shown, just obvious. This is how it's been, and it'll feel true, rather than I'm almost at that type of.
Yeah. It was also good to hear you saying, you know, the problems we all love to have, too much bliss, too much joy, and one that is being experienced at the moment for me is words, and I recognise that there isn't a problem in it. You know, I'm just.
You mean not being able to find words?
Yeah,
When you...
yeah. I'm just. I feel like I'm just kind of smoothing the last bit over in a way.
Yeah, these are the really nice problems to have, right? They're really nice in a way. And it was kind of like this little test at the end of, am I going to keep a hold of this one? Something really actually wants to be someone that's actually struggling with the changeover now that I've seen.
Yeah.
You know.
The funny thing is, I find that when I speak, where it's I don't mean just sitting having a chat, where I do my, my talk, that it's happening much more naturally anyway. Yes, I still have the sheet in, and it is good there to just check that I've covered things, but it's happening much more naturally, which it always has done, but I'm aware that it's happening more naturally now.
Yeah.
So in having those word finding issues that, isn't really a problem anyway, but if I'm really honest, it's happening anyway.
Yeah.
There may be a time where I just sit and wait for a word to come.
And the problems you're offered will be initially about being a human being.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Whatever is coming up for us as a human being, I don't feel good enough. This person makes me feel this way, that way. And we'll sift through those and we'll stick them under the sword. And then the problems will become problems about seeing the truth. I can't quite see it. I'm confused. I had it. I lost it. You know, all of that.
Yeah, I know all of that.
And then the problems will be about being of it.
Right, okay.
You know, ever more, which seem quite true as they're happening. How do I live as this? Is that a question that the awareness would ask?
Yeah, it was good to hear you say those.
And then even, however it's going to express itself as our life, there'll be another set of issues about that. So for me as a teacher, how am I going to communicate what I've seen? How am I going to make it simpler? How am I going to, all of that stuff had to go under the sword too.
Yeah.
I want people to wake up. Is that true if there's only me? No, it's not true.
Yeah.
All these problems, obviously, example of me sat here doing this, but for each person, it's going to manifest as problems about me living my life as the awareness. How do I go and play tennis if I am the awareness? Will I even want to do that? What will motivate me to live, to go to work if I don't need anything? All these ever finer problems.
Yeah, I recognise that when I was sitting listening, I recognised some of them have already started.
Yeah.
But I've also recognised, not today, but from yesterday, from Satsang yesterday, that seeming problems, if you ask the question, which I'd already started doing from yesterday, they're not real and they're gone.
Yeah.
And it isn't, if you've got, someone could be listening who has a seemingly huge issue in their life and they're thinking, well, if I do that, then it means I don't care anymore. It isn't like that. It doesn't happen like that.
It's almost like the awareness has believed itself for so long to be limited that it doesn't actually really even believe it's possible to live without problems at all, or without suffering. So it takes a little while for that to kind of, what you mean, it's possible to feel peaceful no matter what and to not suffer. It's wow, and then to be able to accept that and then to choose to live as that. Again, they're not actually problems for the awareness. Even that can be. And it's good that this is coming up because there's all these little, how am I going to help the world? The world is in such a mess. How am I going to contribute to that if I don't have any needs or wants or desires? Is that true for the awareness? And then see how the awareness moves. Is your life to make a difference to this crazy planet? And it's got to. It's got to bring forth more love, more joy, more compassion.
I'm not going to say what the issue was, but there was one issue that I was aware that there was still there had been a me wanting this sorted. And I've been asking that question, is that an issue for the awareness? And the obvious answer is no. But when I've really been asking it and letting the answers just be there, it's just folding, disappearing in front of me.
And even if there's one that comes up that doesn't immediately disappear, just to question it means you're pulling the lifeline out of it. You're not going to keep on experiencing it.
Yeah, the Velcro's gone. That's how it feels. Nothing's sticking anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something more to
question. But they come. These problems come then from a different place, and you actually begin to get excited about them coming. Oh, this old one again. Let's see what it's like here from what I've seen now with this sword. The same old I fill in the blank problem. And especially all of our problems about awakening.
Yeah.
It takes a long time, that it's rare to see it and even rarer to be it. All of that has got to go under the sword.
I'm quite excited to see how the next few weeks pan out, really. Yeah.
Effortless, easy and fun. Or some version of that.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else like to ask or share? Yeah. Do you need to bring your tissues? Oh, you got some? You've got some.
Got one. When I got home last night, I was thinking about Satsang. It's really clear that a lot of the suffering is caused by answering questions or feeling the need to answer questions. So,
do you mean like to know the answer? I feel like yeah. That's huge when you see it, isn't it? Yeah. Huge. It blows a hole in your ego.
It seemed really like a realistic prophet. Like, great, yeah. I just have to not know the answer. And I was like, responding, I'm feeling quite less than, and I don't know why.
You're feeling what, sorry?
When you talk about being unworthy, less than.
Right. Unworthy, yeah.
So, I don't know. So everything seemed really clear yesterday, and then seems really clear again today.
So then, should we put this under the sword? When you ask the question, what really am I? What do you experience? What's the deepest answer you can access in this moment with me here?
I don't really know. I'm not calm when I ask the question.
Are you confused? Whatever this is that you are, we don't need to even name it. Are you confused as this? Have another look, have another look. What you really are, can it be confused? Take your time with this one. And I want you to answer only from what you can prove inside yourself. Don't go to your mind for this. No. So why is this confusion coming up now then? In this moment, it's been clouded over from the clarity of what you've seen. Could it be that you're being offered this as an opportunity to live what you've seen last night and now? So can I, as the awareness, the silence, whatever you want to call it, can I be confused now? Can I be clouded over? Can it be less than clear? Is there even anything to know as this? Again, take your time. I want you to answer from your direct experience rather than thinking about it. Is that true for you now from here? That I can lose what I've seen? Has the silence gained something? Did something happen to it last night when you had this epiphany? Did it change then? Is the silence impacted by this, oh my goodness, seeing?
It's still the same.
Still the same. And right now, still the same? Does it need to get it? Does it need to finish it off? Does it need to finish off this seeing, the silence, to get to a point where it's absolutely stable and can't be covered again, the silence?
No, because
it's just always there. So you can see you've got a choice here, and you've already chosen this way. But this way, if you agree with this, I'm confused, I can't seem to see what I saw last night. It's very real experience in that moment. It feels very real. A lot of emotion, a lot of confusion. To see if you're going to agree with your experience or if you're going to go with what you've seen. And you've asked the question, you've answered it. How do you feel now? How's your body feeling?
I've got to myself just relax.
You've stopped crying, so that's something. Or there might be tears, but there'll also be tears of just releasing, around some pent-up energy. And let's go for the £1 million question. Ready? But again, from your direct experience, not thinking. Are you, and have you ever been unworthy? There's the silence.
When I've asked this week, I've been asking where am I? I'm trying to look at the feelings of unworthiness, and when I can't find where I am, then obviously there's nothing for the unworthiness to attach to.
Only if we go with our experience or pick up a sense of I as a someone, suddenly you're not good enough. You've lost the awareness again, all of that. Yeah. Is that true for me now, given what I've seen? Do I even need to ask that question from here? Have I ever been unworthy or worthy? Are those applicable to me here, these opposites? Were they ever?
No. I don't know.
All of that suffering and someoneness, it comes with, the core program of person 1.0 comes with unworthiness, guilt, fear, shame as all these not optional add-ons. They're definitely bolted on, aren't they? And then when you see, hang on a minute, that's not what I am, nor have I ever been. That will begin to question, actually, if I go with this, I'll have a very real experience in this moment of it being lost again. Not, this beautiful thing I saw last night, just gone somewhere. Who knows where it's gone? Can't find it. Not in a spiritual I can't find.
Yeah.
It's like I just can't find it. It's gone, and I'm really feeling bad. Is that true for the silence? Does it need to find itself even?
No.
What journey is it on?
It's just
Is it a more enlightened silence or an unworthy silence?
It's just being.
It just is. Just being silent. Even to say being silent is a little bit too much, isn't it? Both is the only words we've got there. So you put it under the sword, and how do you feel now?
Okay.
You're smiling. It's really that easy in that moment. What's not easy is we seem to get clouded over with a lot of emotion. Suddenly seem very, very real, this experience I'm having. But you're not easy is we seem to get clouded over with a lot of emotion. Suddenly seem very, very real, this experience I'm having. But you're this. And if you don't ask the question, you were headed off south, you know, for quite some time. And then, oh, I feel pretty bad actually. Yeah. And there isn't a single thing that can survive this question, is it true? A single problem. If you continue to live as a human being, you're always going to be trying to be better, enough, someone that's worthy of, you know, all of that. And then our option B is to just be yourself and see if that's still a problem. It sounds too simple, doesn't it? You know, that the whole of human karmic baggage is just sliced with this question. Is it true? But you just did it. You just saw. It's not really my problem, actually. It's someone's problem. It's my someone's problem, but it's not me or my problem. There's the silence. And then you, in that seeing, you're making it so much harder to believe ever again that you're unworthy. Like 70% of it chopped in one question. Next time it comes up, 20%. Next time, it's obviously not true. Go away. You know, it's not wrong, is it? That old way. It's just, you know what happens when you go there. You end up crying and feeling really, really. It's tempting to buy that because we've seen something so wonderful, and then we have the experience of it disappearing. It's really tempting to buy, I've lost it. Yeah, I desperately want it back. Is that true for me as a silent awareness that just is? Yeah. And then immediately your experience will begin to turn around. Your body will begin to, you know, and there'll be a lightness back. You'll be enlightened of that belief. Gone. You'll get to a point where the same thing will be offered. Very quickly you'll get to this point. The same thing. I lost it. Nonsense. And you don't even have to ask the question in the end. It's not true, obviously. And there isn't a single thing that can remain as a problem as silence. Sorted. Yeah. Do not notice if you start to feel negative emotion and your body starts to feel contracted, you need to ask the question. Whatever, you don't even need to know what the problem is. Is it true now? It's just the question. Yeah. It fixes everything. Yeah. Good. Very good. Slay some dragons. Anyone else like to ask or to share? Going through a lot of tissues today. All of our problems have disappeared in this seeing, huh? All of our issues, our challenges. Every single problem we have comes from being someone. Everything is gone, chopped, everything. We're smiling again, so it's good. And if you will walk out of this room or away from this satsang with this question in your heart, you need never ever feel any different than you feel right now. Maybe just momentarily when something arises, something's crept back. Oh, let me ask the question again. Do I have to find the time to check in and be the self when I'm at work? Or do I have to find the time to do this and that? Do I need to meditate? Is the awareness meditating? It kind of is in a way, isn't it? It's kind of meditating on itself and what it really means to be itself. using thought in a human body to do that. What does it need? What does it want? What is it lacking? Where is it going? What is it trying to become? Awareness. Is it trying to be more loving? Does it need to be more compassionate, more understanding? Does it need a clearer seeing? It's all gone in this question. Is that true? For the formless, intangible awareness. And the last problem of all, can it really be that simple? It's not really that easy. You know, that ultimate problem. Put that one under the sword as well. How difficult can it be to be the awareness? And everything that you experience, I'll ask you how you know it, you'll say, I'm aware of it. Everything. Everything. Every problem, I'm aware of this problem. I'm aware. I am aware. I am awareness already. Just no longer any of, nothing aware of, just awareness. Not separate from anything I'm experiencing, just awareness. In which all this is happening, seems to be unfolding, this becomingness of our mind and body. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.